ladies and gentlemen, one of the crown jewel institutions in this region, the leader of the band, Joseph Ayoun.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Joseph, in London, and I actually did a Zoom with you about something else.
Yeah.
You were there, so I know he was really there. This isn't, this is not a fake out, but you were in London. You asked if AI beats the Industrial Revolution, looking back on us the way we look at 1776. What do you hope we do with intelligence? So maybe expand on that idea and kind of paint a picture for this audience and for this video that'll be a digital time capsule for your peers to say, oh, look what he just said. We gotta react to this one.
Yeah. Well, thank you for this great introduction. Thank you, John. I love hearing you mention something that is half true. But let me focus a little bit on this revolution. This is much more profound than any previous revolution we had before, for a simple reason that we should not and we cannot look at AI as a tool, as a new technology only. For the first time, we have an entity that is inorganic, that is agentic, and it's autonomous. So this entity is going to change society, is going to change education, is going to change research. So if I want to expand on that, everything we studied, everything each one of us studied could fit in three buckets. The first one is the bucket focusing on the physical world. The second is a bucket focusing on the living world. And the third is the social and human world and the interaction between the three worlds. So all higher education, all knowledge in society, all research focus on the three domains. For the first time, as I mentioned, we have this inorganic entity that is agentic, autonomous, and at the same time, it's impacting the other three. So therefore, we have to look at it as a game changer for humanity. And I think that universities have to rethink their learning approaches, have to think their discovery, and we are not there. We are not there. Why is it the case? Because the first reaction that universities had is to ban AI and say you cannot touch it. Well, how can you ban an entity that every student is using anywhere? At the same time, we are seeing something even more, that in research itself, you have outfits, and we discussed some, you and I, like Lila, they're founded by Noubar Afeyan, the founder of Moderna, where you have discovery being done with robots and AI, without the human interaction. So if you look at what we are doing in higher education, the first thing is to integrate the four worlds, and then to rethink the way we are doing our learning and our research and our discovery.
So let me ask you two questions that you're probably not ready for. One, are you an AI?
Of course I am an AI. I am an AI, and I'm human intelligent.
So you have a symbiotic relationship with technology. So
a symbiotic in the sense that I learn from it in the same way that I learn from you.
Yeah. So you just mentioned this inorganic intelligence, life form.
Yeah.
Are you going to accept AIs at Northeastern?
Look, first of all,
answer the question.
They don't need to apply. They don't need us. So
right.
I answered the question.
All right. So have you ever been asked that?
No, that's a good one.
I do. All right.
I have been asked whether AI can become a monk,
yeah.
And it's indeed the case that in a Buddhist group, decided that one of the AI agents is going to be a monk.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing for that or against it.
Okay. So MIT, you have a PhD from MIT. MIT was founded as a reaction to the Industrial Revolution to train people for the moment. For 75 years, there was no research.
Yeah.
The last 75 years, there's been a lot of research there. Some people say, and Lila's part of that, Jeff von Molson runs that, that AI is going to, like AlphaFold, going to be able to solve everything. If AI can do research, what do we need higher ed to do research for?
That's a question. I think that we are looking at, you have two groups that we are facing now. A group saying that AI is going to solve everything, and a group, as I mentioned, saying AI should be banned. In fact, if you look at what's happening with AI and what's happening with the role of higher education, we are forgetting the role of humans. We are forgetting, now when we are pursuing the artificial intelligence and general artificial intelligence, we are saying it's going to displace us. Andy is here and he talked about that, about displacement. But we are talking about the impact of work. We are talking about the impact of society. But at the same time, we are as humans, we have the centrality in society and historically, and we shouldn't give up this centrality. So what does it mean? It means that when learning has to incorporate what I call humanics, namely understand machines, understand the product of these machines, and focus on the human
How's
attributes.
that catching on, by the way?
Very good, because for
Is
instance,
anyone using that term outside of Northeastern?
I'm not a missionary trying to promote that.
Have you copyrighted it?
No,
Trademarked
because we don't. You don't want
open
to
source?
copyright. But for instance, what are the human attributes that machines cannot duplicate? That's the creativity, entrepreneurship, teamwork, working with ambiguity, cultural agility, etc., etc. This is something that machines, for the time being, are not duplicating. The other thing is that machines don't understand context. But they don't understand the physical context. I'm looking at the audience, seeing whether people are with me or not, And this is where, the forte of humans. This is where experiential education plays a role. And also, we do something that machines cannot duplicate at all for the time being. We take our knowledge and we transfer it from a domain to another. Very far domain is called far transfer. So focus on the human attributes. That's one thing. Go beyond that, because higher education has now to face a constant balancing act between AI agency and human agency. But even that is not enough. We have to reassert human centrality. We have to be able to manage AI, override AI when it doesn't fulfill the purpose of humanity. And this discussion has to take place with the students, have to take place with the researchers. We have an obligation for that.
So I don't think society's fully gotten the memo that physical AI is coming. And now you can put small language models on robots. You don't have to go up to the cloud. And technology can interact with people and society. Internet of Things, people have been talking about it, but it hasn't really come. You wrote a book, Robot Proof. You wrote a book and you said Robot Proof said the AI economy was coming. And then you came up with a new edition, say it's arrived. In 5 years, what does a university that adapted actually look like around robot proofing?
The first aspect, as we mentioned, is understand the balancing act between AI agency and human agency. Second, focus on human centrality in learning and in research. And then if you want me to give you the recipes, that means that move towards the humanics, namely integrate that through the combined majors. In terms of research, always look at, let the machines run with it, but focus on the output, focus on the theories, focus on the imagination, because frankly, the AI is very limited. It lives in a prison of data. Imagination beats computation. And we have to remember that. So we have to practice this aspect of the human intelligence that is not duplicated. We can think about new businesses, new theories, new approaches to life that are not bound by data. And that's the attribute that we need to cultivate.
So co-ops and global campuses, your school is at the forefront of those two things. What does that look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Is that still a thing? Is this the flavor of the month and you go on to something else, or you do double down on these things?
If you look at it at a higher level, what counts is, what is the purpose of long-term internships such as co-op? It's the ability to allow you to integrate the classroom instruction with the world instruction, It allows you to understand what you're good at, what others are good at, but also it allows you to practice precisely the far transfer and to see gaps in society and then to go look at launching new ventures, for profits, not for profits, etc. To the extent that this is human agency, it's going to remain. It will have various forms and various iterations, but that's what remains. And that's what we are cultivating. So that's what it's not the flavor of the month. If you believe that focusing on the human attributes is the flavor of the month, then yes, it is. If you believe that this is what education is about, then
so
it's going to be
who drives the co-op more? Is it the students who want the experience because they want to have relevancy in what they're learning, or is it the organizations, whether they're for-profit or non-profit or government, that hire the
it
co-opers?
has to be a win-win for everybody. Let me give you also an example. We all heard that entry-level jobs are disappearing, correct? Well, entry-level jobs are not disappearing. It's a little bit silly to say that because people need talent and need starting talent. What has been the case is that entry-level jobs are being redefined. People want AI. They want the new talent to have AI and to have an experience. So we said to ourselves at Northeastern, that's easy. We have it. By the time they leave, they have the AI and they have the experience because we gave AI to everybody, certificates, badges, and advanced versions of Claude and others. However, we forgot that the first co-op is like the entry-level job. So how do you do it? How do you get them to have an experience? So we asked our partners to give us 6,500 every year projects that the students are working on, and those are real projects, either individually or collectively. By the time they are getting for their first co-op, they have already AI and experience. Now, guess who pushed us for that? The students. But at the same time, the partners were very happy because they had real projects being worked on. So that's why I'm saying that it has to be a win-win, it's a constant humbling experience because the world is changing. So,
the second part of my question: does the sun ever set on Northeastern? How many zip codes? How many continents? How many countries? How many campuses? And with all these campuses closing, are you going to eat them all up, and you're now going to be?
Our goal is not to eat. Our goal is to provide opportunities for our students, our researchers. So we, as you know, we have campuses in the United States, in the UK, in Canada, and in Ireland.
How many campuses?
Altogether, 13.
Does any other school have 13 campuses?
No, not yet. But they're starting. Some are starting. You have schools that are following this path and starting, very well-known schools, and it's public. But the whole idea is that we're doing three things. Not all campuses are created in the same way. One, we want to provide the students, undergraduate students, with the opportunity to have different learning experiences in different contexts.
So how is this different than taking a semester abroad?
Because precisely,
it's not academic. Intentional?
It's not academic tourism.
Yeah.
Okay, they are embedded. Exactly. They are embedded. They are looking at different curricula and at different co-op experiences, and in general, different experiential opportunities, and they are roaming the system. Yeah. So that's the first. Right. So researchers do the same. Yeah. They access research opportunities in Europe because of our presence, and funding too because of our presence in Dublin, in the UK, and in the United States. And at the same time, we hire people, talent, and we don't have to tell them come to Boston, but, so they can be part of a large network. And the third one, that's the most important, and we didn't discuss it yet, is that with AI, we all need to reinvent ourselves. And higher education has looked at lifelong learning as a second-class operation. Mm-hmm. Whereas now we said if we are facing a situation where everybody needs to reinvent themselves, who's going to do it? Yeah. So that's why we went to where the need is in terms of lifelong learning, and we're providing it in major cities.
Closing question. Have you reached your peak and you're on the way down, or do you have is your best ahead of you? Like, do you have a move up your sleeve that everyone's gonna say, "Damn, I can't believe he did that"? Is there something secret that you want to tell everyone?
The day you believe that you reach your peak, you should leave.
Okay. No,
Okay.
but do you? I mean, the question behind the question: do you have like a big gangster move that you're gonna
Yeah,
pull?
I think higher education is going to change dramatically in terms of
I've
learning.
heard it called dead man walking.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we are seeing here every week a college going under, and now it's creeping up to.
And it's expensive. Has
Yeah.
anyone told you that?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. How many children do you have?
3. No,
Three.
full-
So you know
Don't
that.
even get me started.
So every week we have a college going under, and it now is creeping up to brand names, comprehensive research universities that are in real trouble. Why? Because there is a social compact between society and higher education. And this social compact is saying, we are going to give you privileges of being tax-free, we're going to give you financial aid, we are going to give you research support, if you do 2 things. You educate the citizenry, and at the same time you provide discoveries that are going to change society and keep us ahead as a society in terms of health, wellness, etc. Now, this social compact is being challenged, and this is why you're going to see more of that. So if we are not going to reaffirm our relevance, we're going to be history.
Yeah. So I could cancel the rest of the speakers and talk to you all day.
No.
But I think there'd be a riot because some people are relatives.
And I
of
want
the
to listen
other
to them
speakers.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Who has a Northeastern connection? Right.
Okay,
Who's
my
sad
God.
that they don't have a Northeastern connection? Right. Well, you were in the room where you heard from their fearless leader. A school that was taxi drivers went to night school there. Now it's changing the vector of society, not just higher ed. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the band. Thank you.
Thank you. You're great.